Hey, what's up, Hacksters? So tonight is Yuri's night, which is a fantastic celebration of human spaceflight. That's because on April 12th, 1961, Yuri Gagarin took the first human spaceflight around the Earth. I think it was 108 minutes, and then crash landed back in the Soviet Union. Yuri's night is about Yuri Gagarin and human spaceflight. 20 years later, there was the Columbia mission. It's all super cool. And I wrote a blog post about what you can get up to for Yuri's night. So, to clarify, Adafruit posted a cool thing about the International Day of Human Spaceflight, and they've got some cool info about that. It is now a UN-recognized holiday, the International Day of Human Spaceflight. It's also April 12th. It's all the same celebration. Go check out the information on yurisnight.net. At the time that I accessed the website, it was actually down, but you can find it on the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine. Super cool. So yeah, if you want to figure out your own plans, check out the blog post, What Are You Doing for Yuri's Night? And just a quick review of the kind of stuff that we're talking about. First up, I wrote a post a couple of years ago about September in space. I had this whole themed thing where we interviewed a couple of cool people. Brad Kohlenberg has been working on Made in Space, which is a 3D printing in space initiative enabling us to build very large things eventually, and in the meantime, just like useful, versatile things. Apparently, spoons are big. Spoons are big on the ISS. Shauna Pandya, who is a citizen scientist and astronaut candidate, I haven't caught up with her story lately, but she was awesome when we interviewed her. And then there's a bunch of old suggestions about how you can get involved, and some of those are definitely still valid, but just in case, I included some new ones in this year's blog post. There's also a funny song. So, tracking the International Space Station is a pretty popular hardware and software project. There's all kinds of cool visualizations that you can make. The first one that I linked uses Amazon Alexa, so you build your own skill to track the ISS, and it's awesome. If you have an Echo, this is great. You can also build other devices that work with Alexa, so you don't have to have an Echo or a Dot or whatever. Next up, we've got a bit from Gray Bright, who connected the IFT space channel to a Philips Hue bulb, so that he always knows like when it's going over. Do you know that it goes over 15 to 16 times a day? So this thing is going to be pinging you fairly frequently, but you know, like what is it? Maybe like 100, every 100 minutes or so, something like that. Could be wrong there. Anyway, go check out the video. It's hilarious. There's also one based on Mycroft, which is running on a Raspberry Pi. So this is another voice assistant based ISS tracker, and it has more agency on your part because you have to actually query it with your voice parts to be like, you know, where is the ISS, and get information back from it. So this uses, it's cool because it runs on Raspberry Pi 3, and you're using Mycroft, which is this open source, sort of semi-privacy focused, but also very much openness focused voice assistant platform. And we recently covered them doing a Kickstarter for their Mycroft Mark II device, so which includes a Raspberry Pi and is very customizable. So if you're looking for a cool voice assistant, Mycroft is good, and you can talk to space. And then finally, one I didn't actually put in the post, you can also use this other platform, Bolt IoT, which has their own Wi-Fi module as well as a cloud surface. Yeah, so all kinds of different ways to do that. If you just search the internet, there's all kinds of people doing this because it's a really cool project. I mean, you're talking to space, okay. Then also If This Then That is one of my favorite services for makers getting online with IoT devices and stuff. It makes it incredibly easy to hook up whatever your device is to Gmail, texting, Twitter, Instagram, to like post to those things, but also to retrieve information. They've got all these different channels, and one of them is the space channel. So a channel would be like, you know, if you have a Philips Hue bulb like Gray does, then, you know, you can use that as an output, and then the space channel as an input. It's The name says it all. Anyway, so this is powered by NASA Open Notify Mars Atmospheric Aggregation System, and how many people are in space right now, which I'm kind of curious about now. I also mentioned Magnitude.io, which has some really cool stuff that they're doing, especially around space, citizen science, and education, which I think is a fantastic combo. So they have this like 3D printed chassis around a core that includes an Arduino and a shield that's got all these sensors on it: GPS, accelerometer, barometric pressure, magnetometer, humidity, and etc. You can, yeah. So they have their own custom shield that does all this cool stuff and logs the data. So you could send this up in a weather balloon, high altitude balloon, which is another cool project that sometimes people in makerspaces will like throw together and stuff. Our own Alessandra actually went out and launched a high altitude balloon a little while ago. I don't have pictures, but maybe we can put up some afterwards if I can goad her into sending those over. So yeah, they also have an engineering version. If you have like a school or a class near you or a club, this seems like a great kind of way to get involved, that group with space. And they say that you can use it with your local rocketry club. They also have this thing called Exo Lab, another thing bringing together classrooms and the International Space Station. So if you're into like open source hardware and space and citizen science, go for it. One cool thing about putting robots in space is that you can create the overview effect. There's this group, Space VR, based on this idea. They're putting cameras in space so that you can feel like you're in space, looking down from an actual satellite at the Earth in VR. Yeah, so it's a subscription model. So you can get either like a year or a lifetime subscription. It's $35 a year. The whole idea with this is that the overview effect is a cognitive shift that astronauts and cosmonauts and taikonauts and whatever experience when I love all the different names for people in space from different countries, by the way. But for that people experience when they get to space and they see the Earth, something happens inside them. Sorry for any audio artifacts. Something happens inside them where they get this very profound and poignant emotional shift in how they relate to the world and other people and humanity as a species. And so Space VR is kind of trying to create that, but with VR, so that you don't have to be an astronaut in order to experience this feeling. And I'm a huge believer in the idea that if you want to get something done, if you want to get good done for the world, it is equally, if not more effective. I don't know. You need people to build things, but you also need to inspire those people so that they're motivated to make these changes, because just wagging your finger at people and being like, you should be better, isn't that inspiring. But being like, look, this is where we all live. It's all one place, and we have to share it. Like, I don't know. It's very close to my heart. So if you're going to a party, if you're going to a party, you need to sort out your outfit, obviously. And so I got a couple of suggestions here. One of them is Kapton tape. This is a cool kind of, I think the tape is actually not necessarily a part of it, the adhesive, but it's this very heat-resistant substance. It's like a film, and you've probably seen this around. It's like yellow film, and you see it on all the satellite and space stuff. It's super cool. Yeah, and that's because it's very heat resistant, and you can use it in electronics and stuff too. It's very handy, and they use it in not just space stuff, but also like, on Earth robots and things like that. Another cool thing about this stuff is that because it's so heat resistant, you can apply copper circuits on top of it and solder to them, and it doesn't like melt or anything. So as a result, there's a number of tutorials out there for creating PCBs, flexible PCBs that are really thin with Kapton tape. You just place the copper on top. And actually, this came up in our interview with Bantam Tools a couple of weeks ago with Danielle Applestone. So she mentioned that you can actually mill away the copper on top of the tape, which is incredible to me because that has to be like a really, really precise depth, right? And yeah, you can totally do that. So you can either like chemically etch it away, which might be a little iffy with the tape in the solution. You can use a vinyl cutter, like a Silhouette Cameo, for example. Any of these craft machines that have like a knife plotter, you can use that to cut the copper and apply it. They've done it with plastic here, but they mention Kapton tape as well. And they tell you all about how to do that. Not only is there, not only can you use copper tape, but there's also like this stuff copper taffeta, which is a cloth that you could apply onto here as well if you wanted to do some kind of sewable thing and get a little bit better of a connection. Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff with that. And then finally, my last link of the day is for another project that I think is just amazing. So it's this movable seat where you are sitting in it with this laser gun and pointing it at drones in the sky, which are acting as space invaders, like the classic game. It's fantastic. One of the coolest things about this is that, yeah, you don't use actual projectiles, so your drone is in no actual danger, but it has a detector on it such that when it detects that it's been shot, then the command module basically, you know, brings it down and puts it away so that you can tell that it's dead. Yeah, I love this real world application of this old 8-bit game. It's beautiful, and it's built with a SparkFun Arduino Pro Mini, NeoPixels, all kinds of other cool stuff, and a couple other Arduinos too. I love this whole project, and you can see some cool videos of it too. Yeah, a couple more things about your outfit I forgot to mention. I got really excited about the Kapton tape. Obviously, you can also use Mylar. It's like, it's shiny. If it's cold where you are, because spring is not sprung yet, you can use Mylar to keep yourself warm. It's not very breathable, but it is very good for keeping you, like, I wandered around LA for like an entire night in a Mylar cloak once because I was at a Yuri's night party. With the space shuttle, you can do that. You can just, anyway, it'll keep you warm. And then also you can get little bits of solar panels and stuff that you can turn into cool space jewelry. So I don't know. I hope you have some cool plans. Not all of the events have already taken place. Like, some have been taking place over the last couple of weeks. There's some stuff tonight. There's actually more things coming in the next couple of weeks. So be sure to go check out yurisnight.net/events. And go check out this blog post as well. It's just called "What Are You Doing for Yuri's Night?" Because we want to know what's the cool stuff. And share your space hacks if you got any. I would love to see that. Have an awesome rest of your Thursday. Yeah, it's Throwback Thursday, which is kind of perfect for Yuri's Night too. So yeah, have a great one. Enjoy your parties. Make some cool stuff and share it. Bayakali! Bayakali is what Yuri said when he was like taken off in the Vostok spaceship. Pretty cool.